know, you have to tell us in character,
You have to tell us.
but
Yeah,
very
and if you-
slowly because you're a
if you
Tortle.
tell
I don't know you.
Well, it was
And if you
written
tell
on
them
my
out of
shell.
character, you'll just have to feign ignorance.
Yeah.
It's
Spoilers.
transcribed on my shell, okay?
Well, then
Alright,
I'll read it when I see your show.
Not unless you know
anybody-
Aquian.
Anybody need a minute?
I was born Aquian.
Well, joke's on you, because it's actually called Aquan.
I speak both.
You're a clan.
I know all languages.
Oh, good.
Well, I guess I already picked it because I picked deception and stealth.
Well, your class will also give you some, so you should have more than just two
Deception
skills
and
you're
stealth.
you're
Okay.
proficient in.
I know who not to trust.
That's a great background. A background in deception and stealth.
No, that's my things. You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's your skill
My
proficiency.
skills.
Dang
It's
it,
my
thanks.
skills.
You
He's
should
John
have more
Cena.
than-
That's
you
not
should
in my
have more than
background.
Just two skill proficiency.
You even get that one. Can't see me, my time is now. John Cena. Are you sure about that? That guy?
Wow,
the new
look at you go,
Suicide Squad?
Garrett.
That's me. I roll a -1 too,
Why do I have two numbers on mine?
because one is with advantage.
Yeah,
Or
you probably have
disadvantage.
the box checked for advantage right now.
Wait, what are we doing?
Just
We're about to play D&D.
We're playing the game, dude.
What do we need to roll for?
Nothing.
initiative.
Nothing. Everyone sees one person roll and they're like, "Oh shit, what did I miss?"
How do I roll?
Yeah, dude.
He said roll for initiative.
Look, guys, you only have to roll when I tell you to roll.
How do you,
You can
even
roll
actually roll?
Or that.
Yes, sir.
Oh shoot, my dice slipped.
I mean, you
Class
can roll.
features.
I'm not telling you that you can't
28
roll. I'm
per
just
roll.
saying you don't need to.
8 plus. Saving throws.
All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick before we get started. While everyone
Skills.
gets
Choose-
their rolling out of the way.
Wait, I gotta get. I'm gonna roll for
Okay,
initiative.
why is everything rolling twice?
Because it
Arcana,
rolls for.
deception, history,
It
tradition.
rolls 2
That's
automatically and roll
okay.
20 in case you're doing advantage or disadvantage.
Wait, how are you guys rolling like that? What are you using to roll?
I'm rolling through D&D Beyond.
Oh,
I'll make a.
so if not, then you just go with the first one, correct?
Yeah.
If it's just gonna keep
Yeah.
rolling
Yep.
twice. Okay.
Oh yeah, dude! 7 piercing damage with my dagger.
How did you get a dagger?
I have one. Starting.
Get wrecked.
I don't know what the fuck that did. I clicked on light crossbow and it did that. Hello, Munchkin. Go eat your din. I put it out for you.
Oh,
Here,
so
tell them what you think
oh,
about that.
okay. So that's
Hmm?
Oh,
What's a
okay. So that's a when I roll for light crossbow, I guess one is. Oh no. Okay. Gotcha. No, never mind.
Okay.
That's a roll. That's a roll to hit.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, and then you roll damage. You can click. You can click on it, and it should roll damage. If you
How
click,
are
click
you
on where it says
rolling,
light
John?
crossbow, it'll roll the actual damage on the crossbow.
Yep, I just did it.
It wouldn't let me, because I can't.
It's okay. I'm cool. I've got permission.
No.
Click on light crossbow.
Oh.
On the roll. There you go.
Ah!
You did it.
How are you rolling, John?
Dude, I am just. Cause I just go like whoop, like that.
He right now is clicking on his
I mean-
skills.
At some point, I'm gonna need to know how to roll.
Are there any backgrounds that I'm not allowed to have?
Nope, you can pick whichever one you'd like. Right now, David, all he's doing is he's bringing up his character sheet and clicking on whatever skill he wants to roll.
Just so you guys all know, it is canon in Blood Bowl and in D&D. Snicket has claws, but claws works differently in D&D than it does in Blood
So
Bowl.
if I pick an OP background like faction agent, or
Is
I have
it-
proficiency with
Oh.
insight, arcana, history, investigation,
Stealth of
nature,
6.
religion,
you-
animal
you-
handling.
Zach, you're misreading it. You get to pick some of those. You don't get all of those.
Oh,
If my
everything.
if my
So,
backstory
so
is
the
literally
background
God,
So the background I pick adds those two off to the right that it's saying as part of my options to pick two.
Let me see. Which one are you looking at right now? Faction leader?
Faction agent. It has a fuckload of them listed under proficiencies. I'm not going to pick it. I'm just using it as an example.
Well, let's look at it to help you figure. Okay, so you get 2 of the skill proficiencies. My goodness. Insight and 1 intelligence, wisdom, or charisma skill of your choice is appropriate to your faction. You get a tool proficiency, no tool proficiencies, 2 languages of your choice, and it tells you what you get, and then like other features that you may get for it.
All
So
right,
you don't get
you're
all of
looking
those.
at
You get to pick.
you're looking at something different than I'm looking at. Where?
Well, this is what I'm looking at right now.
All right, I'll use this website instead.
And then it gives you a list of like default factions that existed within the Forgotten Realms. And if there's one of them that you like, I pretty much have a pseudo replacement for all of them. So you
Now,
can do this one if you
gonna
wanted
go
to,
backwards?
but you could pick whatever background.
Let's see.
There's a lot of them.
Wait, so is one of these to hit or something? What did you say these 2 numbers are?
Yeah, you're rolling to hit right now, David.
Oh.
So if you're not rolling with advantage or disadvantage, you take the first one.
Yeah, there's actually a way you can click off so it'll just roll 1, I believe.
Question. Where the fuck did I read that shit? Iron Heroes. Is that a background? Can I pick that as a background?
What kind? What background?
Can I be an Iron Hero?
An Iron Hero. Probably. As if I.
Well, it's specific to your Lycan race lore.
Oh.
I didn't know if they were
Okay.
still around or if that was something I was not allowed to be.
We can certainly find one that's a pseudo fit effectively. That's what I do most of the time.
Okay.
Quite frankly, it's easier than making my own. I'm trying to find which one. I'm reading through a couple real quick just to pick one that I think would be close to it.
I think you can just make your own, right?
Yeah, theoretically.
And then you end up just choosing.
Oh yeah,
what you
John Sawyer.
actually
I think there's a default function in the book that'll just let you kind of pick whatever you want to effectively make your own.
Yep.
Background.
Because my background is custom. Like when I was reading through the character creation in Roll20, it just says, or if you just want to create your own, then just choose this, and you choose a couple of things just to match whatever your background is. So that's what I did.
If you just want to pick one random one for now that we can go with, Zach, we can kind of tinker with it as we go. For the sake of getting started.
No, it feels swollen. I don't know if it's getting bigger or it's just my head. You going to bed already? Oh, already? You're not gonna finish the game? No.
All right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
while is anybody else still working on stuff, or is it just Zach?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
We're Gucci.
Let's
I'm good.
go ahead and get started then, shall we, boys? Everyone,
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Stoke City.
Ooh, you know what, boys? Something just came up. I gotta go.
What a funny guy.
Classic.
No explanation, just immediately disconnect.
All right, guys.
Oh, he's back.
So to set the scene a little bit, where we're at and what's going on. We're currently in the portion of Agodale known as the Gleaming Tundra. It's a vast, expansive, icy land that has taken a lot of similarities from feudal Japan. You all came out to the Gleaming Tundra for one reason or another, which your own motivation might be, varies from person to person. But in one way, shape, or form, you all end up accepting one same quest. Not more than 6 days ago, saw a few pieces of large meteorite breaking off of the Evermoon. For those of you who don't know or didn't read about it within the lore, the Evermoon is effectively a massive moon high at the peak of the sky that never moves in any capacity and stays exactly where it is, and it's visible to all at all points, whether it is day or night. These 3 pieces scattered all across the world, some heading west, east, and south. And our group of adventurers that has gathered together today set off to the east, to the Gleaming Tundra, in search of one of these small pieces of the Evermoon. A man named Uso Gliss, who's a wealthy businessman within the village of Nasu, has sent out a very undescriptive job about trying to garnish a particular adventuring type to come to him and hear what he has to say. All of you took an interest in this job for your own reason or another, and now 3 of you find yourselves shivering, sitting in the back of this small carriage, listening to the sounds of these wheels as they squeak, fumble over the rocks and snow beneath. You can hear the crunch of the snow as the wheels constantly turn over them. You all look around you and you see a small little furry creature. Across from him, the polar opposite of a massive shelled creature with leather-like skin. And another medium-sized furry creature. No humans aboard this at all. Minus the one driving it, of course. Looking to the front, you all met with a man by the name of Gerald a few days ago. He picked you all up at various points across the tundra for who you only can assume is Uso Glisk as his master that he talks about. He's a man of little words. He has an eye patch over his left eye, a massive wart on the center of his nose, and his jaw hangs kind of limp to the side, and he looks like he doesn't have full control over it. It's been a struggle over the last couple of days to understand much of what he says, and at this point you all are just kind of assuming he's taking you to the place that you want to go.
Great.
As everyone looks around, I guess let's start with Garrett. Would you like to describe your character to everyone?
Yeah, so my guy, Snicket, who hasn't introduced himself yet, is kind of in like tattered, worn down clothes. He has a cloak that's tattered. He generally looks dirty. The parts of his fur that you can see are kind of like matted and packed with like just dirt. He's kind of got he has like a grayish brownish fur, and let me double check because I haven't read this in a while. Yeah, he has grayish brown fur, and the skin that you can see where the fur is like thin, like on his chest and his face and his hands, is very pale. He's got black beady rat eyes.
Love me some beady rat eyes.
Anything else?
Oh
Tell us about his tail.
yeah, he's got a tail. It's a rat
That's
tail. Pale like the rest of his like skin exposed parts. Am I missing anything important, JR?
Oh no, I wasn't
Okay.
I wasn't trying to be a trick question. I'm sorry.
I didn't know if you were like, and
Sure,
I
you're
just
done.
didn't want to cut you off if you
he
weren't
likes
done.
long walks on the beach, and
Very often I'll ask you guys like, is that it or is there anything else? It's not supposed to be a trick question. I'm just not ever trying to cut anybody off. So,
Yeah.
all right. Zach, would you like to describe your character?
Okay. So, as you see before you, this somewhat manly lichen. Compared to the other lichen, he has a stark humanoid appearance, slightly less lichen, more people-like, although his lichen ancestry is rather prominent in the large black spines, which you can see between the pads of his heavily and well-loved
Whoops.
leather armor. That was intense.
My bad.
Sorry.
He just started looking way more intense all of a sudden.
Oh.
His fur has sort of a shallow gray appearance. Most of it is not very long, however, towards like his head region, and sort of got like a Wolverine type beard going on. It's pretty neat, but it definitely shows off of his lichen ancestry. He has seen quite a few battles, whether with other lichen or various adventures. So he has a number of scars in his arms and some parts of his small but still there tail have pieces of fur missing out where you can see the worn and fairly weathered skin. He does have long fingernails. They are black and more claw-like than they are fingernails. And you see through the corners of his lips peek small, sharp teeth. And that's about it for now.
All right. David, would you like to describe your character, please?
Yeah, so basically, like most turtles, I look like a giant man turtle. But unlike most of the others, I'm basically about as big as they come. 6 foot tall, 420 pounds.
Jesus.
Looks
Oh my God.
like he has an intimidating presence to him. You can tell he's a fighter. He's been born to fight. He's been raised to fight.
Porg and Snicket, you're both actually sitting on the opposite side of the carriage of David's character just to ensure that there's some level of equalization for the weight.
The wagon is still leaning to one side.
You guys kind of realized after about the first few hours of the first day's journey that a huge portion of the screeching sound you're hearing of the wood is a portion of David's side squeaking down and smashing against the road as it's pulled forward.
So yeah, I mean, it was slightly embarrassing, but more than that, I felt proud of how large I was. And you can just see the scars across my shell and my chest that show you that I'm no stranger to fighting, but at the same time, very kind of quiet, keep to myself.
Sensitive.
Intimidating, but not threatening sort of presence. That's
And your
it.
tail?
And I'm a very small tail, and kind of lime greenish, kind of a brighter green than most.
John, don't forget to describe your tail as well.
John's not with
Well,
us.
I'm not
that's it for the three of you who are in the back of the cart right now. There's just the three of you, and then the man Gerald, who you first met with when he scooped you all up and kind of started taking you your
That's
way.
the guy with the mole on his nose?
Yes, and he has like kind of the limp jaw off to the side, and you always struggle to hear. He turns around just to give you a nice big look at his giant mole that kind of pops off of his nose. He's got the not a band-aid. He's got a cover over his left eye, and his other one kind of sags. He looks relatively old in terms of human years anyway. He's got graying hairs for sure, and as he turns around, his tongue and half of his jaw kind of hang to the side, and he says to you all, "Be there in just about less than an hour." And he quickly flips his head back towards the other side, down the road again. You can see a little bit of spit and dribble kind of sliding down the side of his shoulder as he flings his face back towards the front of the path. All right. You all are at this point, we're well aware that the Gleaming Tundra is a cold area, but most of you don't particularly come from cold areas, and you were a little undershot on how exactly cold you thought it would be. You're not necessarily at risk of catching hypothermia or anything right now or frostbite, but something to keep in mind is, for the sake of everyone's comfort, having purchased a little bit more brisk clothing that will help you stay warm here will do you some wonders when you finally make it to town. And if you couldn't exactly decipher what Gerald had to say to you all, you figure it out relatively quickly as you start to head up kind of the precipice of this pathway you're on right now, and it levels out for a moment, and you all can see off in the distance the village of Nasu becomes your view.
Ooh.
It is a large, expansive village that pretty much just pushes its way all the way up this mountainside cliff top towards this head that you can see inscribed or carved out of one of the mountaintops all the way at the tip.
They should have not done that to nature. I'm not gonna be able to keep that shit up.
I completely ignore him. I'm just kind of minding my own business and like paying no attention to either of them and kind of just like fumbling with something in my pocket.
Okay.
I'm just gonna sniff the air a little bit.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
Oh, let me get to my chat. Oh.
Heyo.
What am I supposed to roll for that?
Perception is a D20, as pretty much everything will be whenever I ask for one.
Oh,
You gotta hit roll D20, because right now you just rolled a 20 out of 20.
Okay, I was like,
Hey, first roll of the campaign.
And then add whatever your perception modifier is, if you have one.
You can click perception from your character sheet too.
It's a hand write.
one.
Okay, so it's just a 12 total.
Yes.
All right. So, in the air, Korg is your name, correct?
Yes.
Start to sniff the air around you, and you get a few various scents that kind of whiff and make their way towards you. You can very clearly smell smoke, kind of coming from all directions around you, as you kind of make your way into the village. Very clearly, there's some fires being burned all around. There's a very distinct smell of filth and death as well that kind of makes its way towards you. Not something you're very familiar with, but it's a little more like rotting than usual. Like it's been festering for a while, perhaps.
Right.
As Gerald continues his way, mushing his two large oxen that he has pulling this carriage you all are in, you can see the one on the right side for where your Tortle friend is at is looking very tired. There are small groups of children that kind of disperse as they see your village, as they see your carriage make its way into their village. You begin to look all around and you can see broken windows and doors, tons of homes and buildings or various shops at one point you assume are boarded up. It looks like they have no signs of movement in them. On the right, there are packs of wild dogs roaming the streets. They all are incredibly starved and skinny. You can see their rib cages sticking out on the sides, and you can see a level of hunger in their eyes that causes a little bit of concern should you meet them alone in the wrong place. But as Gerald pushes forward in the cart, they all kind of quickly disperse, rushing off into various directions. You get various glimpses from some of the village folk who are out and about right now. Many of them look at you with disdain, maybe? You're not quite certain. It's hard to tell for a group of people you've never. As you take all of this in around you, Gerald just pushes forward with the oxen and the carriage, moving up this steeper and steeper incline.
yeah, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I get any indication as to like how? From the description, it sounds like the town is like it was run down or attacked or something. Can I get any indication on like the like how old the damage is, or if it's like recent, or if it was like just been long run down over?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. Do you want to? I guess I'll give you this option. If you want to hop out of the cart and like go really investigate something, you can roll an investigation check, and that might give you a little more of what you're looking for. But just taking it in without really getting up close to it will just be perception.
Yeah, I'll just do
And that might be a
perception.
little. That'll probably be a little more general.
Okay, yeah.
But
I'll
go
do...
for it.
Okay.
And everyone, feel free to stop me at any point when I'm rambling. Like, don't like no hard feelings at all if you interrupt me. So, okay, 16.
What's that? Good lord.
Snake, looking around, you can see there are various portions and pieces of walls and buildings for the doors where you can see little arrowheads stuck into them. There are slices and scrapes or smashes that, if you had to bet, you would assume that it's from a weapon, but without getting further or closer and investigating further, it's tough to tell. You would assume from the damage and destruction you can see around you, destruction is a harsh word, I kind of take that one back a little bit, that it's kind of a mixture of physical damage or assault on the buildings around you, as well as just neglect.
Is there any indication as to like how old, like the age of the weapons or something, or I guess the arrowheads that we can see?
Some of them vary. There's definitely some that look like they've been sitting there for a long time and no one's left them out. And while there's others that appear to be relatively fresh, you know for a fact that it was snowing relatively heavily the last couple of days, and there are plenty of arrowheads that you see sticking in, or even a few random shields or broken weapons lying on the ground that have next to no, if any, snow lying on them right now. So either they were messed by the village, or were messed with by people in the village, or they were recently put there.
Okay, can I turn to Gerald and ask him if he knows if anything has happened in the town recently, if there's been any like disturbances or any interesting events?
Yeah, for sure. You turn to Gerald and ask him this question. He turns back around and his tongue kind of flopping about, it kind of slops into his nose and falls down his face. Yeah? Who's that?
Yeah, are there any, you know, of any interesting events that have happened around here? Maybe any battles, any interesting characters that have come through here and caused some disturbances or anything?
We got a few problems here. There's the Black Hand that we always got to worry about. They're trouble. But,
Is that the Black Hand you said?
yeah. Heard of them?
What are they? Some sort of gang, local gang that causes trouble?
Make a persuasion check for me, Snicket.
Persuasion check.
I take a puff from my Tortle weed.
Okay. You
Don't-
watch as you... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just... I remember somebody saying they like smoked like some sort of Tortle weed. Did I make that up?
No, I think that's a thing. If not, if it's not, we'll make it one.
Okay, well just assume he has a pipe in his hand at all times.
For sure. Like a Gandalf style pipe.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. As you ask Gerald this question, Snicket, you can see he kind of quickly looks around, kind of just taking in the people around him and everything, and then it looks for a moment when he realizes that no one's necessarily too close or anything like that. He leans in real close to you, and you get to the point where you can feel the hot air of his breath on you, and you're worried that when he starts speaking, there might be a little more to come with it.
I don't wanna say too much here. Ask me later. When we get to Master's, talk about it.
I kind of just give him like a nod of acknowledgement.
He kind of... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's it. I'm just a little nod of acknowledgement and say, yeah.
He slowly turns away from you, kind of looks around real quick.
Funny, rat. Good joke.
And he kind of like smacks the side of your shoulder a little bit.
We'll be there any minute. Don't get too comfy.
And I say to my breath, don't have to worry about that. This seat's really hard.
You say something?
No,
Gerald kind
no,
of turns back a little bit.
no. Kind of allergies kicking up. A little cough.
Ah. Uh-huh.
Tito coughs and laughs.
Oh, so you said your name's what? Tito?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tito.
Excellent. Okay, that's good to know.
Tito.
Tito the Tortle.
Exactly.
Oh man.
It's so good.
Is that a family name or?
All right. So you guys notice a distinct difference the further this carriage brings you up this cliffside. Oh, what the hell? This is the page I want to be on. My Roll20 page loaded into the wrong game. Sorry. The
Dragon swoop down from every.
the surrounding houses and shops around you, higher up this cliff top you get, begin to get drastically nicer the further and further up the hill that you make it. So much so even that the people around you begin to have nicer, higher quality clothing on. You don't see any. Go ahead.
Are there more plants in this area?
Are there more plants in this area
Like
than the last one?
vegetation? Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Tito's worried about the wildlife. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Yeah, you're good. We'll go with just the first one. It's what we always do. I'm not trying to steal a 20 from anybody. That is what we do whenever someone rolls with advantage when they don't technically have it. So we always go with the first one. You do start to see definitely a lot more vegetation up here around you, Tito. There's a few more just like decorative flowers and vines and flora that is planted all around some of the nicer homes, as well as there's some definite plots of farmland that you can see kind of mapped out that look like they're planted with some more of the root-based plants that can do a little bit better in the colder climate.
This makes Tito happy.
A small little smirk spreads on Tito's face. And just about the time or the moment that Tito finishes to examine all of the various plants, flora, and fauna that he sees, I guess just flora, that he sees around him, cart comes to a quick halt in front of a large estate. Now just imagine there's snow all over it instead of just grassy. Can't always find the perfect picture, boys. I'm sorry. It's not the biggest estate you've ever seen, but it's certainly nicer than what most of you have stayed in previously, and looks like it would do for a lord of a small of a village this capacity.
Shit, I didn't even know that this should change.
Did it not? Should have.
No, it
No, it
did.
did. I was following. I was looking through the Agadale maps. I didn't know that Roll20 had stuff in it for us to look at too.
I try to always include stuff more than just
Nice.
maps for you guys to look at. So
Oh.
you all pull up to the front of this estate. Gerald quickly hops out of the carriage, and you watch as he makes his way over towards the stable, begins to wrap up the oxen, putting them away.
Go on. Master's waiting for you. I'll be in just a moment.
I go ahead and hop out kind of independently of them and just go ahead and start walking in, not really caring about if they're behind me or if I'm with them or anything.
Okay.
I get
I would
out,
also-
making sure to make the cart bounce as much as possible.
After the big turtle gets out and the cart's wagging all over, before I get out, I have to stabilize myself on the railings.
Yeah, you were kind of shot up a
Lost.
little bit, Korg, so you didn't. When Tito got up, you almost got flung off a little bit.
Tito looks over his shoulder and kind of laughs a little bit.
As I release the grip of the handrails, you can clearly see some claw marks left in the wood. And I dismount the wagon and proceed inward.
Oh man. You guys make your way towards the front door of the estate. They're these large, they're tall, more than anything. They're not necessarily the widest set of double doors you've ever seen, but very well made. There's all sort of intricate wood carvings around them, and there's a little bit of metal of silver and gold embroidery in them. You can certainly tell that Uso Glisk probably has a certain level of flair to him based off just the state of his front door. There's a pair of guards that are wearing a similar getup to what Gerald had, just a little more padded, and it looks like they might actually have a chain shirt, while Gerald didn't quite have that. You three here for the job. One of them calls out to you as the three of you approach, with Snicket in the lead.
I kind of look around and acknowledge that they're behind me, and I look up at the guard. And these are, I'm assuming, just normal height people. I'm looking.
Yeah,
up to
regular sized humanoids, like 5'10" ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I look up to them and go, I guess so.
Hi.
All right. Come on in then. Lord Glisk is looking forward to meeting you. You can hear the wood screeching against the cobblestone flooring beneath it as he shoves open one of the large doors and leads you all into this large estate. You can immediately see, as he opens the door, the first thing you're in is some sort of massive feast hall that just spreads wide like a huge rectangle shape for this. Has huge vaulted ceilings that must go up 50, 60, 70 feet. There's all sort of massive exposed wooden beams everywhere. There's a smell of fire, or like large fire and smoke that kind of hits you as you enter into the estate. You can smell that some of it's probably from cooking, while other of it's probably just from various fires to stay warm within this place. There's a cold feel to the building as you enter into it. The walls are all made of a thick, hard cobblestone, and the interior is not nearly as well decorated as the exterior quite is. There's some paintings and portraits and statues and busts that hang all around, but not in exuberant amounts or anything, at least for a place this size. Go on. Lord Uso is just down the hall. You won't miss him.
I kind of just acknowledge his thing, give him a quick nod, and then start walking. Again, not looking back to see if anybody is actually coming with me or not. Just going on my merry way.
I give a wolfish grin and follow the rat.
I walk in slowly behind him.
You guys kind of make your way and you cut past out of this small little entryway or foyer that it had to get into the main portion of the building, and it just opens up immediately after you take not more than 3-4 steps out of kind of the area you were in, and you can really see how expansive the ceilings and how high this whole portion of the house is.
Can I check to see if there's like any like weaponry on the wall, like on display or anything
for
like
sure.
that?
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Okay, I guess we know who to go for whenever you guys need to see shit. Snicket, you see all sorts of various statues and busts and suits of armor set up across the walls of the food court that you're in, or feast hall is probably a better phrase. And there are certainly various pairs of crossed swords, or even maybe a battle axe or two hanging from the wall. All in all, you would guess there's maybe 9 or 10 various weapons that you could find within this room. But for a perspective, the room is also probably maybe 100 to 125 feet long. So there's a pretty good amount of wiggle room that you could see.
Is there any people in this room besides us right now?
Yes, that's what I was going to go to next. Is that no, you're totally fine. Just beyond the weapons that you see on the walls, the other 6 weapons that stick out to you very soundly are the 6 weapons wielded by the guards lined against the walls as well. You could see a man standing by an open fireplace with his back turned to you all, and he doesn't really acknowledge you currently. There's not much of a sound in the room, only the echoing of your footsteps as you all patter closer and closer. And you're perhaps 25, 30 feet from the man, standing before this massive fireplace, just staring into it.
Real quick, you said there's 6 guards,
Yes, there are 6 of them.
so 3 on like either side, or am I just
Yeah,
imagining?
3 on
Okay.
each side.
Okay.
Here, let me go ahead
and then the other guy too, that's in front of the
let
fireplace.
me go ahead and do this for you.
Uh-oh.
For a little bit better perspective of
Okay.
where you're at.
I feel like I chose the wrong kind of token.
It's up to you. If you want to change, you can, or you can keep it. It's up to you.
I might change it later because I feel kind of out of place.
No, you're good, man. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. I have my own style, and how are you supposed to know that? Without turning, the man says, "Wow, I'm just losing my train of thought. I'm sorry." That's just anticlimactic.
That's a weird thing for him to say. Wait, that's what he actually says?
No. I'm sorry. This is me not being as
That's-
smart as the NPC that I made.
That's for real, JR. Hello, little kitty. Oh.
Well, it is glad to finally meet someone who may be interested in partaking in the job I posted a few days ago. Do the 3 of you find yourselves to be capable men?
I go sit in the chair.
I'd say
Okay.
I can't vouch for these. Oh wait, if you're sitting in the chair, then I guess as he walks towards to sit to the chair, I kind of walk forward a little bit, but like awkwardly, and then just like end up just standing over here.
Okay.
And I just let. I mean, he talked. I don't say anything in response because I just let whatever whatever Zach's character said just speak for me.
Just kind of slowly walk over here, looking the other way, smoking my pipe.
How about you, Green One? You seem to be rather large, perhaps bulky.
I could be convinced.
Well, it is a good thing you came here then. And he takes a few steps forward and kind of quickly spins one of the chairs around so the back of it is facing towards the table, and he kind of hoists one leg over it and sits down as he straddles the chair. Come, sit. We have much to discuss, no?
Walk over to the other end of the table and kind of meekly with both hands pull out the chair as it makes a loud scraping noise. I'm assuming these are heavier chairs.
They're a little heavy.
And then I just hop up, my feet dangling in the chair.
I just sit square in the center of the bench.
There's a kind of a soft cracking sound as Tito sits down on the bench, and you can feel yourself kind of drop a few inches, Tito.
Feels good to let a load off.
I'm sure it does. You all had quite a long journey to get here. I appreciate your effort.
How long was our journey?
It was probably about 2.5 days in total.
Okay.
So it was not it wasn't hard. You were picked up, but it was tedious for sure.
Tell us more about the job.
Oh, of course. In due time. I do appreciate the man who knows exactly what he wants, but may I get you all something to eat or drink first? You are a guest in my home, of course. I would hate to seem rude to you all.
I'm vegetarian.
Of course.
I will. I'll take something. I'm a little weary from my travels.
And how about you, friend? As he turns towards you, Korg.
What's that I smell in the kitchen?
A bit of this, a bit of that. Some fine oxen meat, if that's what you're interested in, or I can maybe scrounge up some vegetables for you if you'd prefer to be more like your green friend here.
I'll have the ox.
Of course. And he looks over towards one of the guards and he claps his hands. You heard them. Fetch our meal, please. And one of the guards begins to quickly shuffle off. You can hear his boots clanking against the cobblestone flooring as he slowly leaves. Well, forgive me, I have been rude. I am Uso Bliss, local businessman and owner of this estate. It is a pleasure to meet you all. And he looks over towards you, Korg. And who are you, my friend? Short and sweet. And how about you? As he looks towards you, Tito.
Well, I'm Tito, and just about everything in this town is taller than anything I've ever seen people living in.
Whoops.
And it
My
fills
bad.
me with determination!
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you as well, Tito. Hopefully your determination will result with us both being happy at the end of all of this.
That was the most epic introduction. Ta-da!
And last but not least, my little friend, who might you be?
The name's Zrarik.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you. Zarek, was it?
Yes.
Well, now that our introductions are done, let us get to the real meat and potatoes, shall we?
I'm vegetarian.
He kind of like face palms a little bit. Right. Of course. I apologize. Let's get to the real carrots and potatoes then, yeah?
Excellent.
And as he's kind of begin to kind of get his flow back and get into his introduction once more, there's a handful of maids and butlers that quickly rush out from the kitchen, and they begin to throw down all sorts of food in front of you guys on this table. There must be 14, 15 different platters with all sorts of various food, cooked oxen and chicken, probably, it seems like the other meat, all sorts of vegetables cooked and steamed, some raw, enough for all of you to eat your fill and then.
Can I check to see if any of the food has been poisoned in any way?
Sure, go ahead and make an investigation check for me. So you grab some of the wine first, kind of placed in front of you, assuming that if anything is going to be tampered with first, a drink, usually
good
the
call, good
easiest one to be tampered with. You take it up to your nose and you get a good sniff in real quick. You are not necessarily an expert per se in all sorts of various alchemical supplies or reagents that you would use to perhaps put one to sleep or anything like that, but nothing about the smell of it seems off-putting to you at all. You look at the cup and nothing visually either. Even go so far as to quickly sticking your pinky in real quick and kind of swishing it around, trying to feel for any sort of maybe powder at the bottom or pill perhaps that hasn't dissolved entirely, but it all seems to be okay to you from what you can tell.
Then I indulge.
Okay. It is delicious.
Hell yeah, dude. I knew I made the right call indulging.
I would like to sniff and then eat the ox meat that I requested.
Give it a few nice sniffs. Smells just absolutely divine to you at this point, Korg. Some nice cooked meat. It's been way too many days for you at this point, and everything seems above board. And after seeing some of the others around you eat, and Lord Uso was very quick to eat as everything was placed in front of him as well. Started to take a few bites of everything.
I dig in with one fork in each hand, eating my lettuce, drinking 2 drinks at a time, not worried about it.
Well. I am glad that I was able to provide you all with at least something to hopefully make this journey worth your while. But, like I was saying before, you all came here for a reason, and I'm assuming that the reason is to make. For what reason you want that money is your own. I will not ask you to share it. Tell me what you all know of the Evermoon.
Give a blank stare like I don't know what the Evermoon is.
Anyone? No? As he kind of pans over the rest of the group.
It's breaking.
You think so?
All right.
That is certainly
I've watched it fall from the sky.
it's certainly possible. It would be rather interesting if such a thing did happen. It has been there as long as we've all known. It is too bad there's very few records of pre-reckoning. Perhaps we would be able to gain some insight. But in our current state, the only way I know to garner such insight about such a mysterious thing is to have a little piece of my own. And that is why the three of you are here now. What I propose is that the three of you travel, perhaps a day and a half, maybe two if you're slow, to the crash site of this meteorite, and bring back as much of it for me as you can. And you will be rewarded quite handsomely for it. 100 gold pieces each. Now, should you wish to make a little more money, bring back whatever of the meteorite you can, and assure that no one else. How you'd like to do that is entirely up to you, but I'd be inclined to give you a little bit more if you could slim down the competition for me. You get what I'm saying?
Killed them. I
said no such thing. What you choose to do with them is your own choice. I just simply don't want them to have it. If you steal it from them, that is fine. If you hide it and make it so no one else can, it's fine too. I just want to be the sole possessor of it.
How much extra are we talking?
Oh, well. I could think of a few different things. Perhaps a bit more gold if you're interested. A few hundred pieces more, maybe. Or I could find some various trinkets or knickknacks that might interest adventurers like yourselves, should you complete it to my liking.
Very well.
Well, one of you seems to be on board. How about you, Tito? Or I am sorry, what was your name again?
Kind of burp and say Tito. Just kind of nod.
So, I take that as you're in as well, Tito?
Burp again and say, if you get me a refill, sure.
He snaps his fingers a few times quickly and he points towards your drink. You heard the man. Fetch. Another one of the guards rushes over, grabs your cup, and quickly runs back to the kitchen with it. And you, my small friend? How do you feel of such a thing?
Then I'm looking off to the side a little bit and be like a deep sigh and be like, yeah, I guess I'm in.
Tell me, friend. Something troubling you?
It's just, no worries. It's just things aren't progressing like I'd like them to. So let's just get this
Cool.
over with.
Well, do this for me. And do it well. and I'll see if I can help you progress things at a faster rate then.
I kind of look over at him and kind of like squint my eyes and look at him really deep into his eyes and don't really like say anything.
I have a few more connections in this town than many do. I'm a good friend. And he gives
And,
you a sly smirk as he quickly turns away.
and I smirk back.
Well, you all feel free to eat your fill, get what, take as much as you'd like, bring doggy bags, whatever. Enjoy. It was made for you. I have a few meetings that I must attend to, unfortunately. Members of my organization need to be spoken with.
I think kind of messed up to say doggy bag in front of Zach.
I growled.
I guess you could take it that way. You certainly could. Well, anyway, when you're all done here, head into the town center. There's a fourth person who came here before you all. Rather interested in the job. Meet with him. You'll need his help. As Uso gets up from his seat and begins to walk away. Oh, he's growing.
Yeah, fat.
Ate a bunch too.
He ate a
So
ton.
as he's walking away, I kind of glance at the others and I'm like, so if we're working together, I kind of need to know some information about you. Where are you from? What are your skills?
I just bristle my spines in that flex. Give him a wolfish snarl.
Shit. Forgot I'm using
Walk
the
to the
wrong.
town center.
Wait, you what? What'd you say, Zach? You walk to the town center?
Yeah,
You just leave?
I bristle my spines at you. I give you a little snarl, and then I start walking towards the town center. Let's
Oh,
go.
God. I figured out real quick what this kind of campaign is going to be.
And then I kind of just ignore that and then turn to Tito and wait for a response.
Well, do you want the long story now? Because I don't want to tell it not in front of everybody.
And I go, just give me the brief version right now. I don't need to know your whole history.
Well, I was my village's champion, so I'm very efficient at fighting. But all of this stuff in this land kind of confuses me because I've never really been outside my island. So here, trying to help protect the balance of nature.
And I stare at him and I'm like, can you kill?
I can kill fine, as long as you can help me justify it in a way to protect nature. He kind of
I just-
laughs and like pats you on the shoulder.
I roll my eyes and then I get up and start walking towards the town center.
All right, Tito, you two, are you hanging tight and you finish eating first?
Oh, I take like a big plate of lettuce or a bowl rather.
There's
just
just a
start walking
massive
out.
glass bowl with a ton of salad in it that you just pick up and just take with you. One of the
Actually, how-
guards
Oh,
is
sorry,
like,
go ahead.
I don't think you're supposed to. And the other one just kind of just starts shaking his head. Let it be. Let him go.
How fast was Korg walking towards the town center? Was he like just walking or was he like brisk pace?
Just walking.
Okay, so
30 speed.
as I get up and leave the table, I want to try to like run and catch up to him before he gets to
Okay.
the town center.
Yeah, you can do that without a problem.
Okay.
You can quickly catch up with them.
And so as I get to him, I go, "Hey, big guy, you got a problem?"
Oh, I'm here to do a job. Let's go.
And I like, well, we can't do a job unless I effectively know what kind of skill set we're working with.
I'm kind of following but hanging back, by the way.
Can I? Okay. I'm gonna use a little bit of my special organ and make my spines crackle with some lightning.
Right? You watch as bits of electricity arc off of Korg's back, kind of spiking off from one portion of his spikes to another.
And I just kind of give up hope trying to actually have a conversation with this guy, and kind of drop back to where Tito is and kind of walk next to Tito, but like not too close to Tito, so I don't want to get stepped on.
Next to him, but not too close to him.
And then I say, you gotta admit, that was pretty cool, though.
And I just like let out like a grunt, like a deep sigh grunt.
Ratman is displeased. To be fair, though, you are able to look at Tito and pretty easily tell what he's probably good at. This massive, like over 6 foot tall, 400-pound turtle with a great axe holstered to his back. It's not really hard to figure out what he's probably good at.
No, I was more just trying to get talking.
Yeah,
I wanted him to tell me.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was gonna say Korg is a little more difficult for you to tell. So
Yeah.
This is not me shitting on you in any capacity.
Yeah.
So, after a few minutes, brisk walk, you all make it to a fairly bustling town center. There's a good amount of people kind of huddled around various shops and huts that you can see. Probably easily 75, 80, 90 people in the area you're in. There's one particular crowd, though, that kind of draws your attention. It's probably maybe 15-ish people or so, kind of all standing around it, so much so you can't even really see what's at the focal point, whatever it is that's going on. There's a few people kind of whispering back and forth to one another, and then one man from the crowd quickly runs out holding this glass vial with a cork stopper on the top of it. It's some sort of weird glistening liquid inside of it. Some sort of potion, maybe? You guys aren't quite sure as the man quickly rushes away from the crowd with it. A few more seconds go by and the crowd disperses enough that you guys can kind of get an idea of what you're looking at. And what you see is just this little rinky-dink setup little stand for a comparison of what you can say it might look like. And you see this rather tall humanoid-esque individual, massive head, standing behind the stand. John, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, so mine is what you see is as JR said, a average height humanoid. I mean, very human looking other than the giant head, larger nose, and a little bit paler skin, very white skin. He is also wearing a trench coat, so you can't make out much of his body type, but you can tell he's thin, maybe like 150 pounds, probably not very well built. He looks a little weak, a little frail, and that's it.
All right. So you guys see this individual kind of handing out various potions and flasks to people standing all around him. They hand him back a few coins, a few pieces of coin, like he might be selling various things off to them. And you get the impression there's a good chance this might be the individual that Uso Glisk previously spoke to you all about.
I walk up and say, "Hey, you the guy?"
Hey man, how's it going? Who are you?
Tito.
Tito. Nice name.
How about yourself, my friend?
You can call me Guy. Who's this? Who are these two behind you?
They're still strangers to me, to be honest. But we were told to meet you here, so here we are.
Okay, nice. I've been here for a few
I would like
days trying to get some money.
Like to sniff the air as if I'm smelling this strange creature
Okay.
and say Korg.
Nice to meet you, Korg. And what about you? I turned to Snicket.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second.
His name is Zarek.
Zarek.
Garrett's putting on his voice modifier to sound
No,
like
I'm
a
not. I'm
rat.
talking to Rachel really quick.
Okay.
That would have been
It appears
awesome.
he grows tired of speaking.
Okay, no problem. That's cool. That's cool. First off, maybe there's something you guys can help me with.
Wait, hold on a second. I want to do my introduction. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
Hold on.
All right, we'll wait.
Downstairs. Yeah, I gotta go back upstairs really quick. Yes. What do you say? Yes, I'll close the door. Yes, most dogs are in here. Okay.
I guess I could do my long introduction too now.
Not yet. I haven't had the chance to introduce myself.
Well, you guys haven't earned it anyways.
Not yet. Not until we're at least level 5.
I'll give you little bits along the way. Give you the first paragraph at least, though, at the beginning.
Keep them interested. Don't just show everything right off the bat.
Okay. So you said your guy turned to me and asked what my name was.
Yes.
I kind of don't make eye contact with him at all, and I just, under my breath, just be like, Zark.
Zarek. Okay. And can I tell that he's being, like, what his deal is? Like, why he's so standoffish, or is that just...
It's it's tough right now. You certainly get the vibe, like you just said, that seems to be very standoffish. If you want to wait a little more and maybe have a little more conversation with him, we can try to do like an insight or something, but it'd be tough to do one just based off of his one-word introduction.
One word.
I don't know how much you can insight check a single word, so
Word is all it takes.
The intonation of that word.
Yes.
Alright.
let's say this, it's enough to give you suspicion and kind of think, "Ooh, what's this guy's deal?"
You certainly can't
also-
tell yet that he's a dragon.
You also notice that out of everyone, that you're the closest towards being a regular humanoid out of the group here. You've got a werewolf type creature, is really what he kind of comes off to you as. Only your research and history of reading books about lichens tells you otherwise. And there's a giant turtle and a little rat. So it's an interesting group that you find yourself
Medium-sized
here
rat,
with.
thank you.
Medium-sized rat. I apologize.
I'm actually a medium size too, so
Are you medium?
yeah.
A 400-pound medium, just brick. Okay.
Okay, I go, well, since we're sharing, I come from Rookery Island, and I was trained in the art of Tortle combat since birth, as one of the sacred guardians of my village. I hail from a long line of, I am a descendant of the original protector of our tribe. I've pretty much used an axe every day of my life, to the point where it's now as much a part of me as my shell.
Well, that was a pretty in-depth conversation. But that's cool.
But I spun around my axe too at the end.
Fancy.
Give a little flourish to everybody.
And I kind of am tapping my foot in impatience. And kind of like snap at who I know as Guy. And I'm like, so where are we going next?
I assume that we know or I would know where to go. I assume I had this conversation with him before. JR?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do multiple things at once. Yeah, he gave you more specific instructions than he gave the other group, and he told you to take a road to the east, travel on that for about a day's worth of travel, and then start to head in a northwestern direction, veer off of the road at that point, and you'll run into a small individual farming house that had the meteorite land in its front yard or area.
Okay, and I convey that to the rest of them.
And I receive.
You feel
that.
pretty confident with the instructions he gave you that you can find it without much problem.
Okay.
And I say that sounds very unnatural.
And then I say, speaking of unnatural, you see, I'm kind of a connoisseur of everything potion and herb. And today I made a potion that I honestly don't know what it does. And I was seeing if one of you guys could help me figure it out.
And so as he says that, Snicket's ears kind of perk up underneath his cloak. You can see his ears kind of like perk up. That mention that he's a connoisseur of potion and herb kind of grabs his attention.
I see I may have a taker.
What? You have no idea what this does?
No idea.
And you want one of us to try it?
Yes. The reason I can't try it is because the amount of potions that I've been taking is frankly astronomical. And it may not affect me as much as anybody else.
I kind of scoff.
All that experimentation and whatnot.
I scoff and look to the side and say, "You're a fool."
Harsh vibes, man. What about you? And I turn to Tito.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, do what you want with it. It's yours. I just need to know what it does. I just put some stuff together today and figured I'd see what it does.
What's it smell like?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me, Tito. Oh no.
Like liquid.
You put your nose up to it, Tito, and it has this really just herby, dry, earthy smell and tone to it.
Okay. I say it
From-
smells...
From looking at him, like, handling it in his hand, can I, like, see what the consistency of the potion looks like?
Yeah, you look at the consistency of the potion, and it's rather thick. It looks like it has like large globules or chunks kind of floating around in it. And you also realize very clearly that Tito is absolutely smelling his fingertips and not the potion bottle. And why he smells herby and earthy tones are probably the turtle weed that's all over his fingers that he packs into his pipe is what he's smelling right now.
I kind of look into it, kind of with my mouth hanging open, like, oh, smells natural enough. And I drink it.
And so as I realize that he's gonna drink it, I kind of like under my cloak, kind of like ready my hand around my dagger.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check. See how like noticeable it is that you're grabbing onto a blade. Okay, typical rogue thing. I believe that's higher than everyone's passive perception currently, so
It's the same as my passive perception.
it's the same. Okay, so Guy, you do see that as Tito goes to drink the potion, Krisk quickly. It's Krisk, right? Is what you said? Or
Zarek.
Zarek. Why did I think Krisk? Zarek, my fault. Zarek grabs, or kind of instinctively goes to like grab something underneath his cloak that you can't see. You could assume what it might be, though, but you can't see it for certain.
I don't react.
As you go ahead and down the whole potion, Tito, go ahead and roll a D100 for me, please.
dead instantly.
What?
He was trying to kill Snicket, and the plan backfired.
Oh!
99. All right, so you down this potion, Tito, and there's
That's
like these
awesome.
3 or 4 like thick globules in it that just kind of catch in your throat, and you have to like heavily swallow to get them all down. And it has a really kind of like vegetable-like tones to it.
Mm.
Tastes good.
God.
What was
Tito,
that?
I need you to roll a d6 for me, please.
So as this is happening, I bring out like a notebook.
Wait, what happened after vegetable taste?
We're
Nothing's
about to
happened
find
yet.
out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everything went silent. I thought I cut out.
No, you're good.
No, I take out like a book or like a journal and like a writing utensil to start like writing what I observe and what I see.
You guys watch as Tito's form begins to slowly fan outwards and become more circular. His hard outer texture and his hard shell and thick, like, hide skin that he has begins to turn to this frail, crunchy, like, green consistency before eventually sitting in front of you is a massive head of cabbage the size of what Tito once was. Tito, for the next 2 hours, you are now a massive head of cabbage, and you can telepathically speak to those around you.
Oh my god.
Can he move?
Let's guess we'll find out.
Or do we have to roll him?
He's on 400.
Oh, shit.
420-pound cabbage.
Rob Schneider is.
Oh my god. And I telepathically say, well, this is very natural.
And then I unclench my dagger and kind of just like disappointedly shake my head.
I rock up on my side and start rolling around.
Is that a thing? Like, what can a head of
Can you
cabbage
roll
do?
yourself? Yeah. How does?
No, he cannot. You try to move yourself, Tito, and you are
Oh,
incapable of moving
God.
at all.
Shit. I say shit telepathically.
So, can I tell based on me making it what the duration would be?
Roll an Arcana check for me. Yeah, Arcana probably fine for like alchemical potions and stuff like that. I want to make sure I'm doing it wrong. Sometimes I need the list in front of me.
I mean, Arcana or
Yeah, I think that's the best one.
Medicine?
That'll work. You rolled
It
high enough
is
though that it
nature.
doesn't really matter.
nature?
We'll go with your Arcana check. Looking at this massive head of cabbage now lying in front of you, Guy, you've encountered a couple of different potions that transform the shape of an individual or the form of an individual, and they don't tend to last longer than about 5 or 6 hours is the longest you've seen. But you've also not seen someone turn into an inanimate object like a head of cabbage. Normally it's like a bird or something instead. So you're a little thrown and you don't know for sure if it will be just like the other times. But you're inclined to believe that it would be, though.
Okay. Can't say that
kind of
that
go-
wasn't expected, but that's why
Kinda
we
go-
test these things out.
and kind of like poke at the cabbage a little bit, and like see if there's any sort of response from me poking at the cabbage.
Telepathically
it.
say ow.
You poke at it a couple times. Tito, you can feel the rat just kind of poking you as Zarek just walks up and just kind of starts fluffing your leaves.
And he says like, "Ow!" and I look around in confusion that I can like hear his voice and not see him. I mean, does it sound? Does it and
Yeah,
telepathically? Does
it
sound like him?
sounds just like Tito in
Okay.
your head when he speaks telepathically, but this looks nothing like him. The closest
guess,
thing about him is they're both green.
I would like to walk around the cabbage and sniff.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Let me find my character sheet.
As he's walking around, can I gauge if he has like what kind of weapons he has on him? Like how armed he is?
Yeah. So.
Cabbage has a great axe, huh?
So first off,
Oh, me.
Korg,
Never mind.
Yeah, you.
Korg, when you sniff, it smells like watery cabbage to you, Korg, and you're not really very interested in it. Not something
Okay.
that you usually tend to partake in. So.
Are you telling him what his interests are?
I'm a fucking lichen. I don't eat cabbage. That's why I ordered the ox.
Zarek, as you are walking around this massive cabbage that formed in front of you, you find out very quickly what type of weapons Tito was carrying.
No, not Tito. When
He wants to
Karn,
search,
what's his
try
name?
and figure out what I'm about. Korg.
Oh, Korg.
Yeah,
Okay, I got you.
When Korg walks to go sniff the cabbage, I want to kind of like take a side peep and
Good.
try to like see how armed he is.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an investigation check for me. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Oopie.
But while you're kind of getting real quick up on him, you realize very quickly all the belongings that Tito had on him as you step on every single one of Tito's belongings that are lying on the floor behind him now. It's difficult for you to get really too close in on Korg, but you get enough to glance some sort of small hilt that he has attached to one of his sides. Not too many distinguishable features. You weren't able to glance much of it, but some sort of small hilted weapon.
Now that all of Tito's stuff is on the ground, what do I see? All his
For
belongings.
Tito's stuff,
Like what's exposed?
Tito has
Without digging
obviously
through it, just like just looking at it.
he has this big great axe, and then he had a bunch of javelins and a few hand axes strapped to his back, and then he's got a big actual personal backpack with a bedroll tied to it, and he's got like a water skin as well. What's inside? If you wanted to know more, you'd have to start digging through his back.
Okay.
So I take the next couple hours, since I'd imagine we have to wait, kind of.
Before we do that, I mean, so I'm gonna ask. So what's the plan?
Well,
Leave it.
Leave it.
We can't just leave a 400-pound head of cabbage in the middle of the market.
I mean, sure we can. These people
This
look
should
kind of
wear
hungry.
off within the next 2 to 3 hours, or I've seen this 100 times.
Is he gonna be okay?
Yeah, he'll be fine. So I telepathically talk to the head of cabbage. I say, "How you doing in there, big guy?"
Well, you don't have to telepathically talk because only Tito can use telepathy, unless if you have another thing that lets you do it.
You
My
know
bad.
the message cantrip. You can cast a spell
Oh.
without expending any components.
Yep, my bad. I'm sorry.
I say sleepy time.
Where would I put? Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
I
What,
say
what did you say?
sleepy time.
Sleepy time. Okay. Well, and I turn to the rest. It's like he's doing good in there. A happy head of cabbage. He's a little sleepy, so and like I guess as we wait for this to wear off, I mean that's what I'm gonna do.
I kind of interrupt and be like, "Well, do you know how long we're gonna be waiting for?"
A couple hours, 2, 3 hours, maybe a day. I don't.
And again, I kind of like just look down and shake my head in disappointment.
That's not a language.
Garrett,
Looking
what was your name again? I gotta write that down.
right now, it's Zarek.
1 second.
Looking around, can I see like any sort of like specific kinds of like shops or like any
Yeah, there seems to be the most popular ones that are all around your immediate area seem to be most people just selling various foods, lots of vegetables, baked goods, and salted meats. However, some of the larger buildings kind of off on the sides that are not in the huge town center itself, but kind of make up the structure around it. There seems like there might be a couple of there's definitely a smithy nearby, as you guys could hear the constant smashing of the hammer against the anvil, as well as a general goods shop that seems like it might have a bit of a inclination towards scrolls and things of that nature, as well as just a general goods store, place you'll go to buy potions, cold weather equipment, just various traveling goods, and that medicine, tinder boxes.
Kind of look around, look to what's your name again? Is it Karn? Korg? What is it again?
Org.
Korg, yeah. So look at Korg and yeah, so what are you gonna do to kill time?
And I wasn't planning on anything actually. Let me ponder.
I said, if you could, I think it'd be best if we get this cabbage kind of behind the stand, just so people don't think he's for sale.
You kind of start to look around and you can see some hungry children that are kind of just eyeing this 400-pound head of cabbage sitting in front of you all.
I'm
Good
in
idea.
danger.
Let's do that.
I offer my little rat hands to help.
Okay.
We all push on 3.
One of you can roll a strength check with advantage, or 2 of you can roll separate.
I'll roll just
please.
for kicks. Somebody else can roll too.
Sure.
Oh, 7.
Okay, with the combined power of Guy, Zarek, and Korg, you guys
Wait,
are
we
able
both
to...
have -1? Or we all have -1s for our
Oh
strengths?
my god.
Oh no! Our only strength person is had a cabbage.
As you roll this massive head of cabbage back behind, or as you're attempting to roll it back behind the stand, this man rolls up next to you with a single oxen pulling a much smaller cart than the one you first rode here in. He looks down towards you all. That looks like a bitch. Do you all need to rent a ride for the day, perhaps?
No. We're fine. This isn't actually cabbage. It's actually a turtle.
All right. Well, you lot have a great day. Yeah. And he gets out of there pretty quickly as you bring up the truth to him. And you all continue to roll your large turtle friend, who's now a head of cabbage, behind the small shop that Guy had set up before you all arrived.
That's a totally new sentence.
And so I guess how I would be spending the next 2 hours would just be talking with Tito and like kind of performing like small experiments to see like if he could feel, to see if like what senses does he have, what he can perceive, things like that, so I can really know what the effects of the potion was.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to do for the next hour or two while they wait?
I wanna like
Yes.
I guess sit next to them and then watch the town square and keep an eye out for like any sort of like pickpocketing or like any shady underhand like non-natural dealings like outside of just like talking, conversing, like
Okay, for sure.
shady stuff.
I want to.
Go ahead. Yeah, what you want?
This kind of would go into the same thing. Essentially, I want to, while the other people are distracted, I want to slip away and go meet someone.
Okay. Easy enough. Let's go ahead and go with. Let's go with Snicket first. Or, excuse me, Zarek. I mean, apologies.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for Zarek. Yikes. Looking out into the crowd around you, Zarek, just kind of eyeing various people for a few minutes. A few more minutes go by. Nothing interesting is going on. And eventually you see a hooded figure kind of slowly easing its way into the crowd of people as more and more people kind of start to get up and gather town center. You lose this figure at a couple of different points before it makes its way back into your vision. You're waiting tensely for something to happen, but you're not exactly sure. And you watch as the hooded figure approaches a man within the crowd. A man that you recognize, surprisingly enough,
Oh, I recognize him.
as Uso Gliss
Oh,
appears in the crowd in front of you. The hooded figure, though, doesn't approach him with the intent of speaking to him. Kind of makes his way behind him. You watch as he quickly pulls something out of a pouch side of his belt. He drops it into Uso Gliss' pocket. He taps the man 2 times on his shoulder quickly. And just like that, the figure is gone.
wow.
Your eyes quickly darting all around the crowd, trying to find any sort of sign or trace of him or her as the hooded figure disappears from your sight. You instinctively turn back towards Lord Gliss, who's opened something pouch inside of his coat pocket. You watch as he reaches his hand in. He gives a brief smile, quickly attempts to start pushing his way through the crowd, leaving the town center.
Wait, so he saw me, or he's just smiling to himself?
Smiling to himself. You watched
Okay.
as he kind of opened up his coat pocket and he checked for something, the same area where the hooded figure dropped something into his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And then he smirked, closed it, didn't take anything out of his pocket, and started trying to make his way out. Like he found what he was looking for, perhaps, or some sort of something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to attempt to pursue or follow or anything, or are you just okay?
I'm just chilling.
All right. So jumping over to Korg now, you do kind of see as Zara gets a little intrigued with the crowd, you might have an opportunity to try to sneak away if you wanted to from everyone else, if you were trying to go get away unseen.
Yes.
He's gonna find his wolf lover. Estranged wolf lover.
It's wolf lover. So Garrett, where did you get that little token thing?
2-minute tabletop, I think.
Oh.
All right, Korg, are you trying to escape unseen, or does it not bother you if your new comrades see you walk away from?
Ideally, I do it unseen.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me, and we'll see how unseen you can be.
Oh.
So it's only a 9, unfortunately.
He
Bummer.
burps as he tries to sneak away, and everyone hears it.
So
What a shitty fucking roll.
let's do this. Guy and Zark each roll perception checks with disadvantage because you're each kind of more so looking at
Wait,
different
does
things
that,
right now.
Does that add my? Oh, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it adds your proficiency.
Fuck! I rolled a butthole fucking roll.
Okay, well, unfortunately,
25. Get the fuck out.
No, with disadvantage. So I got a 10.
The 10.
Oh, okay.
which
It's still higher than
unfortunately 11 and 10 are both still higher than 9. and the two of you do see Korg kind of slowly slinking away from the rest of the group.
And I just let him. I don't care.
Say anything or care. Okay.
Nope.
I like it.
Hey, bud, where you going?
I ignore him and keep walking.
Dark and birdie, that one. Jeez.
Okay. Any particular area you'd like to go to, Korg? Are you trying to find just somewhere to yourself, or what are you kind of an environment are you looking for right now?
I will PM you.
Okay.
This is from my background. And essentially, I'm trying to meet with another member of my race who's in the area.
You want us to, like, mute ourselves for the next couple minutes?
No. We don't
No,
need to do that.
that doesn't matter.
We'll keep it vague enough so you guys won't know exactly what's going on, and you can add a little bit of fun mystery sometimes. And there will be moments or points in times where you guys will have to act in characters if you don't have, of course. All right. So, Korg, you begin to look around town for any sort of sign or signal that may kind of help you find exactly what it is you're looking for. First thing it is you know you need to get away from everyone. And unfortunately for you, stealth didn't work, but luckily stubbornness appears to be doing just fine, as you ignored your group and quickly pushed away from everyone. Begin to head back towards the southern portion of town where you all initially entered in from. Trying to find perhaps some areas that may be a little less popular than where you're at. You check walls of buildings, different signs in the floor beneath you, anything that may tip you off towards what you're looking to find. And after a few minutes, you find a couple of symbols carved to the side of some building. A toothed maw. And as your finger runs over, or as your fingers, run over the engraving and the stone wall, there's a sense of familiarity and peace comes over you as you do. And you breathe a sigh of relief. You've been trained and taught to know that they're always there for you, anywhere you need. But you're never sure. And feeling the presence once more gives you a sigh of relief. The lightning arcs off the finger onto the engraving and stone wall. And there's a little bit of a black sear on the wall from the static discharge. And you wait a minute.
Go
okay,
ahead. Sorry.
Nope,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I thought you were asking me if I wait, and I said yes.
Okay. And you wait another minute. And you hear a soft landing to the left of you. Cloaked figure with a large back and shoulders that haunch up higher than the head. Slants downwards a little bit. Huge, burly build. Not your normal or typical humanoid.
Is it?
What did you say?
What is it?
Oh.
What?
Shit. What was that? The Eternal Moon?
The Evermoon.
Evermoon. We've gotten word of some Evermoon chunks landing nearby. I was wondering if you heard about this.
Almost everyone has. You're certain to run into trouble if you go searching for it.
How much trouble?
But it's valuable. That's for certain.
Can you tell me why?
There are many mysteries behind the history of the moon. Some believe them. Adds to the value of it.
Has anybody found any chunks of said Evermoon?
Not from our group. Perhaps others. But I am not certain.
Thank you.
Let us know if you find some. Make sure to bring us back a piece.
As always.
Amen.
And the figure quickly jumps up onto the rooftop, darting away.
I will return to the location of the group.
So before Korg gets back, while Guy and I are aware that Korg is gone, I turn
Savage duty.
to Guy and am like, so you work with potions, yeah?
So I should come here often.
So as I'm like taking this, like, I find like a stone that, you know, I'm still like, I have my book out and I'm like putting different liquids on this stone and it'll make it brighter, or, you know, I'm asking Tito if he can see this, and then I'll put a different fluid on it and it'll make it smell like something. And I'll be asking him if he can smell that. And I'm writing everything down. But then when he asks that, I turn to him. I'm like, yeah, I guess you could say I'm pretty decent. Why do you ask?
Just what's your kind of focus for potions? Is it more transmutation, mind altering? What did you say that your research is focused on?
Well, as you can see, it's not turning people into 400-pound heads of cabbage, but
I don't know, you're pretty good at
and am I the only one that hears that?
That's up to Tito, who he'd like to speak it to.
Say it to both of them.
Now, can he hear us talk?
Yes, he can. It
Okay.
certainly seems like it anyway.
I have a question unrelated to story. So when a spell says components V, S, and M, what does that mean?
Verbal, somatic, and material. Verbal is obviously you have to say something. Somatic is you have to make some sort of hand movement or gesture. And the material is you have to have a physical material component to cast the spell.
Gotcha.
I forgot what I was saying.
You're saying your expertise is not turning people into cabbages.
Yes. Oh, so no, just no specialty. Just I like to experiment and see what I can find, and you know, everything I do is all natural.
And
So
kind of
mainly
just
nature-based plants, really anything I can find. That's why I was so interested in this meteorite. It may have properties that, you know, could go a long way.
I see. Have you made any medical uses of any of your potions?
Plenty.
Such as?
Just standard, you know, scrapes and bruises. You know, plants themselves have a natural. A lot of them have a natural healing remedy, so I've made a lot of those into potions.
Any cures for things like vomiting or nausea?
Upset stomach, of course.
Ah, okay. I kind of like started saying like okay under my breath as I like just like lose attention and stop paying attention to him and stop talking to him.
As a question, JR,
Yeah.
I'd imagine like I would have talked to Lord Uso to try to like in addition to getting paid, I would have wanted like to take some of the meteorite for myself as well.
He
Would
told
that
you that you guys would talk about it further when you came back with some.
Okay, gotcha.
He did also say the same thing to you, though, that he did to the others about how he... David?
Hello, David.
Well, David's a head of cabbage, so he doesn't need to talk anyway. So.
I'm back.
All right.
David, is there anything you wanted to do in this 2 hours? I'm just kidding.
Well, in the
You
middle of
wanted to
you
marinate.
experimenting on me, I decided that now's a good time to give you guys the long story.
Telepathically.
Yeah, so
Head
this
of cabbage.
400-pound head of cabbage begins telepathically telling you his story. I don't have my headset on, so forgive me for background noise, but I come from the Rookery Island on the what's it called? Archipelago of Tortuga,
Archipelago.
or more specifically Tanzanar.
I say archipelago.
That's it.
Telepathically.
We were known among the other tribes for our fighting capability, and we held regular tournaments to challenge each other's tribe protectors, or village protectors rather, in combat just to see who was better and to kind of get better in the process. And of course, I always won. I was undefeated because, as I told our rat friend here before, I'm the descendant of a long line of the original protector of the island. But on one fateful tournament night, after I had won yet again, and enjoyed plenty of my turtle weed as I do, I blacked out. And when I woke up... Oh wait, sorry, I forgot. Because the blackout kind of made me forget a lot of things. But that night, the elder mystic came to me and gave me a terrible prophecy that there is some great evil of unfathomable destruction rising somewhere in the world, and that I had to set out to protect my village by protecting the world and nature itself. But, like I said, I blacked out that night, and when I woke up, his great-grandfather's battle axe was in the back of her head, and I was on the floor next to her, passed out. So knowing there was no way I could explain this, I decided to set out to fulfill the prophecy, or rather stop the prophecy, and to prove my innocence in the process, because I'm pretty sure whatever this evil is knew that she had told me and warned me of what was to come. And I'm a turtle.
Heavy.
While that was going on, I whipped out some of my rations and chowed down.
Okay. Easy enough.
Do I know if turtle weed would cause a blackout like that?
Roll a nature check for me.
No, not you.
If one partaked in enough of it, it could be possible.
Okay.
It seems unlikely to you, but
I mean, given the size of
this individual, he could put some down. You gather.
Okay,
You don't write it off. It seems unlikely, but not impossible.
gotcha.
I'm gonna call it Tweed from now on.
Tweed.
Perfect.
Oh, and then I said, but now I don't. Or I forgot one of those parts. The last line. The hardest thing I ever had to do was turn my shell on my village. But for the safety of the tribes and nature itself, I found the determination. But now, I don't even have a shell. And it almost sounds like I'm starting to cry at the end there.
Oh my god, that sounds like a prepared speech that I feel like he's gonna read off to everybody that he meets.
One fateful night.
Oh, I might remember more, you never know.
The turtle weed's wearing off, he's remembering more. The tweed.
Okay. About at this point, if you wanted to, Korg, you could have made it back to the group if you started heading back towards them. All right, cool. Okay. After Tito finishes dropping his life story on you guys watch as Korg begins to slowly kind of slink his way back to the group.
As I see him get back, I kind of jab at him and be like, so, care to share where you went?
Be careful on our quest.
We're on a quest? I thought we were just gonna go pick up some rocks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm just sitting next to the head of cabbage, by the way.
Oh man. Okay, you guys got a
Actually, wait,
little bit of
Jose.
time.
Now
Go for it.
I'm gonna ask him. What do you mean? Did you say be careful? Is that what you said, Zach?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what do you mean be careful?
There are many looking for the rocks, as you say.
Many looking for the rocks. Any expansion on that, or you gonna talk in vagueness all the time?
That is all the information I have.
Can I tell if that's all the information he has? Can
Yeah,
I
you
see
could.
if he?
You could roll an insight check.
Okay.
And then if you are attempting to lie to him, Korg, you can go ahead and roll a deception check for me.
Jesus Christ.
He's definitely trying to lie.
Oh, I'm proficient with that. So
Yeah, it already includes it.
So I win.
No, it includes the proficiency already.
Wait, what's the green one then?
If you had advantage.
Yeah, you don't have advantage, so we just go with the first one.
How do I tell if I have advantage or not?
I'll tell you have advantage.
Oh. God damn it.
So unfortunately, Zarg beats you out by 1. What I'll say, Zarek, is that it seems that he's probably withholding bits or pieces of information from you. You can pick up on that much, but you have no inkling of what that information is that he's withholding from you. You just simply know that he's withholding something.
Okay.
You don't know if it's small, big, whatever, but it's something.
Yeah. So then I kind of just like let it go, and go back to eating my
Your
strips of beef
rations.
jerky.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to do, or can David play D&D now?
Dude, this is such good RP. I love the
I
cabbage
mean,
RP.
he had the most dialogue out of anybody as a head of cabbage. He had nothing else to do.
Okay. So about 15 or 20 more minutes go by, and at this point, Tito, you're growing pretty tiresome of guys' constant probing questions about how you feel and whatnot, before the wrinkly, crinkled piece of cabbage slowly begins to transform back into the large, massive shape of Tito the Tortle.
I got my shell back. Alright, I pick up all my shit. So
Okay.
let's go.
And then I suggest to
I
the group
stand up
that we
exasperated and like, can we
Start
finally
heading
get
out.
going?
Yes. Let's go.
All right. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do before you left, or are you guys just looking to set off at this point?
I am looking to set off.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm good.
Oh wait, I want to actually ask. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll save it for the. Actually, I'll go ahead and ask the group. So how are we planning on traveling? Did he say that it's a walk, or did he say like just find your own way?
You could travel whichever way you wanted to. He gave Guy specific instructions on how to get there.
Okay,
but
so Guy knows how to get there.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn to Guy and be like, so where are we going? How are we getting there?
And would I have known that information?
Yeah.
Talk-
He told you that it's going to probably be about a day and a half's journey on foot to get there. If you just travel on the eastern road for about a full day's journey, then head off in the northwestern direction from that point, and you'll meet a small individual farm owned just by a couple of people where the meteorite landed.
Okay.
So you could speed it up if you had some faster means of travel, but he told you without it, it'd probably take you about a day and a half on foot.
So I asked the group if we could find that guy in the carriage or if we want to do it on foot. I'm fine on foot.
I'm better on foot.
I'm also fine with foot.
I get a little bit frightened thinking he said cabbage instead of carriage. I would say I'm fine with my feet now that I have them again.
Tito's gonna have a abnormal fear of cabbage.
PTSD.
I have a administrative question.
Okay, shoot.
How do you like? How am I supposed to change my spells? So I have, as a first level warlock, I have the two spells that I know, but I only have
Mhm.
one spell slot. So
Yeah.
so I can only use one spell, and then I have to
And then
change
you
it.
have to take and then you have to take a short rest or a long rest to replenish your spell slot.
Okay, so I should basically pick one of the two spells that I have to start with, and then with the rest, I can change it.
There's a difference between spells known and spells prepared. So you have these spells prepared right now, and you can pick to use either one of them, but you can only cast one first level spell a day right now because you only have one first level spell
Oh,
slot.
gotcha. Okay. So I can just choose one to use, and then I have to rest to get another spell cast.
Correct.
basically.
But the idea is that you can use whatever you want from what you have prepared.
Okay, cool.
And then you're just limited based off your spell slots. And
To how many
warlocks,
spells I can cast, yeah.
correct. And warlocks are weird. At most, you'll only ever have 4 spell slots as a warlock.
Yeah, gotcha.
But they replenish on a short rest, which no other caster gets spell slots back on.
Yep. All right.
So
Now I am adequately informed.
okay. Sorry guys. What was it? What were you guys saying? What's the plan?
On foot.
What?
Yep.
All right, boys. Everyone ready to set off and have Guy lead the way, or was there any last-minute things you guys wanted to tend to before you left?
I was good.
Gucci.
I think we're good.
All right. So that being said, Guy, would you like to lead the way?
Sure.
As you are the only person who has technically told the directions as of now. Hit dice. Look at you go, David. All right. Go ahead and roll a... Let's see. Go ahead and roll a survival check with advantage for me, because you were given instructions, so that'll help you out a lot. All right. And with the guy leading the way, you all set off following the eastern road. Here's an overall map of the kind of the area that you guys are not even. This is a very overall map. This is like this whole kind of kingdom. Hello, load please. Thank you. So you guys were at this village right here, and you're heading off to the east, following this road.
All right.
After the first hour of travel goes by, you all run or walk past.
Can I interrupt really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
While we're about probably like 30 minutes in to our walk, I want to kind of just like ask Guy how he knows how he got in touch with what's the guy's Grisk? What's his name? Glisk?
Uso Glisk.
Yeah, I want to ask him how he came to meet this Glisk guy.
I'd imagine it'd be this JR. I'd imagine it'd be the same as everyone else.
Yep. Unless if you had something else in mind that you wanted to go with.
Nope, nothing specific.
This was just something that caught your interest, or you had a shared interest, and you figured you'd get paid to do something you wanted to do anyway.
Correct. I was more interested in the meteorite and being able to tinker with it and figure out its properties and all that stuff.
So are you like a traveling researcher? Because didn't you have like a stand set up or something? Or was I thinking of something else?
Nope, you're correct. He did.
So are you... What was this town?
Nasu.
Nasu? So are you a resident of Nasu, or are you like a traveling researcher?
Sorry. No, I'm not a resident. I'm actually come from a faraway place, but I'm kind of just traveling right now, finding different things to tinker with and, different ingredients, anything like that kind of sparks my interest. So.
And I kind of just let the conversation die there, just awkward silence after that.
That's okay. Every y'all's party should just be awkward silence.
Well, I ask him how and why he's doing this.
Yeah, you don't want to hear my story.
Well, I do. I just asked.
No, you don't. Trust me, you don't.
What else are we gonna do? Just walk in silence?
Yeah, I'd actually prefer that.
I laugh and say, our two friends here don't play fair with information.
And then I kind of just ignore him.
Administratively, a curse is under what school of magic? I'm trying to put all my stuff into Roll20, but it's a little difficult trying to translate.
It should tell you when you look up the spell what school of magic it is.
So I can't find I have links to other stuff, but not to this. It's just
what is the spell that you're trying to figure out?
Hexblade's Curse.
So if you go to your character sheet,
yeah,
and
that's not because it's not a spell. That's a ability. That's like a class ability you get for being that class or that subclass.
Oh, so I'll put that under
Do you play
abilities.
D&D as a
Yeah,
headbutter?
you could put it wherever you wanted to, whatever's easiest for you. I mean, organize your character sheet however makes sense to you.
Well, I just didn't know if it was like a spell thing that I used to cast as a spell, because it says it uses a bonus ability to put or a bonus action. I
Yeah,
don't
it'll
know if
use
that was a spell.
it'll use a bonus action, but it'll if a spell is a spell, it'll say it's a spell. I know that doesn't sound like that makes a lot of sense, but
Gotcha.
other things will just be class abilities. And you should probably have more than just 2 spells available, because I think you just get to pick 2 spells from the warlock list for being a warlock.
Yeah, I picked my 2 spells.
And then you should also have 2 spells at level 1 from being your subclass.
So keep it to 11.
Yeah, I gotcha. I have my like my training, which is one of them, and then curse is the other one.
Yeah, so you should know 4 spells in total at level 1.
Oh, well, I have cantrips.
Yeah,
Does that
cantrips
count? Is that
are
what you're talking about?
no, cantrips are not spells. Technically speaking, they're different. They function in the same capacity, but they're not technically considered spells.
So I'm supposed to have 4 total
You're
spells?
supposed to have 4 first level spells. So 2 of them you get to pick from the warlock spell list, and then the other 2 are shield and wrathful smite that you get just for being the subclass that you are.
Oh, they automatically give me those?
Yes.
I thought it was I get
so
to
here,
pick
if you
them.
nope, here if you go to this, you automatically the hexblade lets you choose from an expanded list of spells when you learn a warlock spell. The following spells are added to the warlock spell list for you.
Yeah. I thought that meant like I get to pick these as my 2 that I know. Pick between them.
No, they're added to your personal spell list.
So I know those 2 plus all of the other.
No, because you only know 2 other warlock spells.
So in addition to any other 2 warlock spells, I also get these 2.
Correct. And then when you hit 2nd level, you'll get the other 2. And then actually am I wrong? Maybe you're right and I'm misinterpreting.
I think it's just I get to pick those because those are not normally warlock spells available.
No, they're not, but normally that's never how expanded spell lists work. Like classes almost always get to just pick whatever, or they just like will get shit for free from an expanded spell list is mostly what will happen.
So the regular warlock class just says I know 2 spells at first level.
Yes, correct.
I assume that would just expand the following spells that I could pick to know. Which is what I treated at, and that's really the only ones I'm interested in, to be honest.
Okay, I was wrong. You were correct. You had the correct interpretation. Warlocks don't get to add it to their expanded spell list. They can choose from it. Your interpretation was correct. My fault.
Cool.
So it should just be the 2. My bad.
All right, thanks. Anyways, Warlock says I know 2 cantrips, but my race says that I know Shock and Grasp as well.
Yeah, so you'll know a total of 3.
Okay. All right, we're Gucci.
Okay, my fault. Sorry, everybody. That was my fault. I derailed. That's because I was wrong on a rule. Okay. Sorry, who was someone speaking, or did someone have something they wanted to say still?
I think our conversation was done. Correct, Garrett?
Garrett didn't want to talk anymore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Garrett made an awkward silence, looked at you, and didn't want to speak to you anymore.
Possible.
Great. Half our party is.
Guys, just like I would just love to talk to somebody, please. Could the head of cabbage not be the best conversation I've had today?
Does she still sound stuffy?
No.
All right. So, after about the first hour of travel, you all are starting to really feel the climate of the area you're in.
Yeah, fuck.
The snow begins to start to fall even heavier than it was previously, and you're all shivering and your teeth are chattering in the cold. A second hour goes by. I need you all to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please. Right?
Let me get back.
Ooh.
Feels good.
And then Zarek is the last one we need to check from, but he might be busy.
Hold
Might
on
have
one
his
second.
hands full.
I was handling a crying baby.
That's okay. I figured that's what the case was.
Really?
But.
Wait, sorry. What were we doing?
Constitution saving throw.
It got real cold, and so we started shivering after 2 hours, and now we're making a saving throw.
Let me go and roll really quick because I don't know what my. I would say someone else roll for me, but I don't know what my modifier is.
I can always roll for you if you ever need me to.
Do you know what my modifier is?
When I click it, it will roll it automatically.
Oh, well, I'm already here. So, Constitution saving throw.
15. All right.
Why does yours come out as one thing?
There is usually something you can check that will tell you if you're rolling with advantage or not. Let's
Also,
see.
The Beyond 20 extension, which lets you roll into Roll 20 from D&D Beyond.
Oh, you're using a separate thing. Gotcha.
Where normally.
Is that you moving my character sheet?
Oh yeah, might be sorry.
I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
I swear there's like a button or something that you can hit so you're not always rolling with like the advantage thing. I'm not sure what it is though. I'll have to look into it more. Okay, either way. Zarek and Guy, both of you succeed without a problem. The cold is noticeable, but it doesn't phase the two of you too much.
Go Rats.
Actually, excuse me. All of you succeed on the Constitution saving throw. I misspoke. Guy and Tito, not Zarek, my fault. You are very resolute, and cold doesn't really phase you quite as much. Guy, especially, feeling pretty good right now. But Korg, you're right on the brink, and you definitely could feel that the cold is potentially going to start getting to you if you don't find a better means to stay warm relatively soon.
Clothes at the town. I can't believe we didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's why I say fuck. Because I realized
I rolled an 8.
Oh yeah, you rolled an 8. I don't know why.
Nick is.
so me and you, John.
Yes.
We're getting fucking cold.
and Jesus Christ, I'm sorry guys, it's too late for me. My DM brain is turning off at this point.
Orc and Guy are really friggin' cold.
Yes. You guys literally just barely succeeded. An 8 was the DC, so you're all Gucci on that front though. But the cold is not going anywhere, it doesn't seem like, and you guys still have at least a day more to travel.
I would say as we're traveling, like on the side of the road, like as we're walking kind of in stride, I'll pick up like some of the taller like weeds and like brush and kind of like pad my trench coat a bit like on the inside just to kind of keep warmer.
Okay, go ahead and make a survival check for me. You're trying to find some little bits of whatever to use, but unfortunately with the cold around, it's tough to find a lot of fresh available wildlife growing around you. It's there, but it's just going to take a little bit of searching. Okay. John killing the rolls, except for that con save, but everyone else has been pretty good. You're able to do that, Guy. It takes you not very long at all. You have a pretty good eye for it and a pretty good knowledge of where to find bits and portions of grass and leaves that would still be doing okay in a situation or a climate like this. And you kind of pad your clothing up a little bit. It's not going to save your life, but it's going to help for the time being.
Make me a little bit more comfortable.
I would like to hunt wildlife.
Okay. It could take you some time to do that. You're certainly welcome to try, and you might be able to do it quickly, but you might get separated from your group as well
Yeah,
if you're not
I am
careful.
not stopping.
I would like to hunt for wildlife, following the scent of the wagon and tortoise and his pipe.
Wagon.
Or the
Right away.
walking tortoise with his pipe. Never mind, no wagon.
You're gonna break from the group, and then you're gonna try to use Tito's pipe as like your means
Split
to
the
find
party.
and back them.
Split the party.
Yeah, I'm gonna like cloverleaf in my search and meet back up like every now and then alongside the path we're taking.
Okay.
So with
Go ahead,
if
Guy.
I realize that he's doing that and kind of using his nose, I'll kind of reach into my trench coat and bring out this vial and kind of just open it up and rub it on my hands, and it's a very strong smelling scent that hopefully will help him get back to us.
Okay.
That's part of my magical tinkering. It says
I'm gonna while you're tinkering, I'm gonna inform. Hey, I'm going hunting. Keep this pace.
it says
then
the object
proceed.
continuously emits your choice of an odor or nonverbal sound.
Okay.
So it's just a very strong scent so that he can more
Find his
easily.
way back.
Right.
Okay, that's surprisingly useful and clever in the situation. Korg, you're able to kind of quickly sniff the interesting smell that Guy releases into the air, and you commit it to memory, and it's much more potent than the smell of that the tweed, shall we say,
Love
and will certainly help you find your way back to the group when you need to. All right, go ahead and make a survival check for me, Korg, as you're going to go hunting in the tundras.
I think I'm overplaying my lichen history here.
Ooh!
Right, a 13. Okay, let's see here.
I got pretty average stats across the board, so I don't really have any high proficiencies of anything.
Korg, it's been about 20 minutes and you've not found any wildlife or anything. Do you want to continue pushing off in the direction you are, or do you want to circle back to your group?
Can you describe the area to me?
For sure. You guys are currently in a relatively flat land or zone at this point. Nasu is definitely kind of elevated up onto a higher cliff or edge of mountains. You guys are kind of, there's actually really not too much of an area to traverse into because on the east side of where you guys are traveling, there's a large lake or body of water that's frozen over on the top. So there's really only the west and northwest kind of travel and traverse into. So there's not too many trees around you right now. It's relatively just kind of like a frosted, flat snow land all around you. There's some bushes and some smaller bodies of water that are frozen over, and you can see a large river that flows to the huge portion that I was talking about on your east side. So not too much that you'd really be able to find in terms of large wildlife, or if it is, it's hiding relatively well at this point. You could try to like head back towards Nasu and maybe climb up the mountains that it's on if you were looking to find like some goats or something like that, or that might be making that area their home.
So we left here. We're going this way, right?
Yes, you left Nasu and you're heading east. And so you guys are
Gotcha.
currently kind of like wrapping up around on this portion of the road that goes around this large body of water to the east.
So we're like here.
Yeah, so here I can get you a little more. There we go. You guys are kind of like in this general area, probably right around here. And then the area I'm talking about going to is kind of like up here. Because you can't really go east or this direction. I mean, you could, but you just know the dangers of walking over a frozen over lake or whatever.
All right, I'll circle back. I'm gonna circle
Okay.
back to the group. And then,
After about 20 minutes and no sign of anything, you think better of your position and circle back to the group.
we should go back to the town for climatized clothing.
He's telling us this.
Yes, he came back and telling you this.
I am speaking to the group. There's no wildlife out here. We had better go back and get more warm clothing if we wish to survive the journey.
I'm okay with pressing on. I've got all my leaves.
I don't think we need to do this as fast as possible. Especially if you said there's danger. I mean, what if someone else gets there first? Then we lose out.
Silly doggy, wanna get in shell?
No.
No.
Since the group decides they wish to continue on, I'm gonna go back to the village.
Okay.
Wait, you can really get in the shell! Plenty of room!
Party.
You will be pretty split up at this point. Because they'll have like a 4-hour lead on you.
Fine.
You could do that if you'd like to. I would just saying it would be tough for you to catch back up with them, or if you did, you'd have to like really push yourself to do so. It's certainly possible.
Yep, I'm gonna go back and buy some warm clothing.
Okay. Easy enough. Do you want to go back at the regular pace you guys have been walking, or are you looking to travel back quicker or slower?
I would like to go faster, seeing as they don't want to wait. So I'm
For
trying
sure.
to
You're trying to catch up with them.
I'm trying to expedite the
Right.
retrieval of my clothing.
Understand. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and unless if there's anything you guys want to do as you watch as Korg quickly begins to dart away from you guys, heading back towards the village.
Nope.
Nope. All right. We will say then that about an hour or so has passed since Korg has left. I need everyone to go ahead and roll another Constitution saving throw for me.
Hey, we're good.
Hey. Guy, you can go ahead and add a +2 to whatever you rolled because of your grass adding to your protection.
All right, 15 then.
Hey, how can I see the maps?
What maps are you looking for?
The maps of Agadale? It's just we only have those three, right?
Yes,
The
there's
Chromatic
only
Kingdom, the Free
Mhm.
Cities, and the Metallic Dominion.
There's only those three right now. I do have more maps made for various smaller portions of the world, but I don't just hand those out. I usually will give them to players as they in-game earn a map of a more specific area.
I was trying to find out where Nell is. Or Tekel, sorry.
It is not currently on one of the three known maps. It's not like a place that is recorded and put down upon the three known maps of like the Free Cities, Chromatic Kingdoms, and the Metallic Dominion.
Bummer.
You
Probably
you probably know some people who could help you find it, but it's not a well-known piece of information. So if you wanted to find out more about it or where to go, there's certainly some people you could inquire or ask with that could help you find it.
No, my line of thinking was part of the lore is we're ferocious people like north of Tekel. I was trying to find out if that was a winter area or not, so I could be like, look, I'm from the fucking north. Shit gets wild if you're not prepared, kind of deal.
I understand what you're saying. It is. You would at least know that much. I'm not trying to like shroud the area in secrecy like you know nothing of it. I think it's even realistic you've been there before if you'd want. That's kind of up to you though. But yeah, Takela is a cold region for sure. All right, everyone else is rolled except for you, Zach. So go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. No, you're good. All right, everyone is able to stay resolute and strong and is channeling on to whatever level of inner body warmth they still have left with them at this point. All right. And about another hour goes by, and at this point, Zach, you've made it back to town, or Korg, excuse me. You want to rush back towards the town center real quick?
Yep, I'm looking for a heavy winter coat.
Okay. When I was describing the town earlier, there is a place that's made specifically for winter gear and winter survival and stuff like that. You head up towards this large Goliath man who's boasting a massive oxen fur coat all around him, these thick, heavy trousers as well, and massive steel-toed boots, and he looks as warm and toasty as one could possibly be standing out in a freezing cold like this.
Greetings. I'm looking to travel north.
That I suggest you wear more than what you have now, then.
Aye, that's why I'm here. What
Well,
do you
good night.
recommend?
I'd recommend one of these to start with. And he tugs on his oxen fur coat. Should be more than enough to keep you warm. If you need some more, perhaps a hat and cover your ears would be the big thing.
Do you have anything with a hood?
I could.
How much for a cloak with a hood?
Not too much if you just want the regular cloak. If you want something more furred on the inside that will help keep you warm, few silver.
I'll take the furry winter cloak with a hood.
Right. Hands you over what color would you like?
Tundra camouflaged so like white probably.
Okay, like a white bluish or mainly white? Predominantly white tundra camo-y.
I'm thinking like Arctic wolf colors.
Okay, easy enough. I hand you one. Surprisingly, there's probably plenty of people who do hunting here as well, so he's got something made like that. And it's filled with what you could only assume is like kind of maybe some sort of like polar bear-esque fur on the inside. It's a very like fluffy white fur.
I fucks with that. All right, I have 20 gold. What do I drop that down to?
So it's all it's in increments of 10. So 10 silver is a gold, 10 gold is a platinum, and 10 bronze is a silver.
What's EP?
We don't play with that. No one talks about that.
Okay. How many silver for the cloak?
3 silver. Technically, I think it's called like Electrum or some shit, but nobody plays with that.
Okay, gotcha. Let me go. What about boots? And
if you wanted some
boots and gloves.
Dude, if you wanted some boots and climbing boots and gloves, he has some.
Yeah.
The boots are going to be a little more like straps than anything because you do have interesting feet, I believe. Might be a little hard to fit. But he finds something that'll work for you. Warm on the inside and it helps give you grip on the outside. They're like spiked wraps.
You ever seen a dog wearing shoes?
Yes.
Listen, I just have like claw-like toenails, so I could just poke them out of boots.
Between the handful of things that you just purchased, so it'll be another 2 silver for the other things, and the natural fur that you have as a lichen. At this point, Corey, you are feeling pretty good.
I'm warm as fuck, boy. All right. You got any winter rations?
I have some. Nothing too crazy, though. Just breads and the like.
I'll take
salted
3.
meats.
3 salted meats.
All right. What do you want? Like 3 days of rations is kind of what you were thinking, or
Yeah, 3 3-day
Okay.
rations.
Just 1 silver for 3 days of rations.
All right. Satisfied with my purchases, I thank the man and don my equipment and head towards the path back to
I
the
hope to see you again, traveler. There's a big storm brewing. Mind the snow.
I've noticed.
All right. And as Korg gears himself up, ready to leave Nasu once more, we will bounce back to the rest of the group, freezing their sweet little titties off.
I say to the rest of them, I bet you he's dead already. He didn't look like much of a fighter.
I don't think that. No. He's a wolf. I think he'll do fine.
I don't think so.
Okay.
He's dead.
He's dead.
And as as we're walking, I still have that. I still put that same odor on my hands so that he can find us.
Okay, for sure. I'm assuming you just kind of naturally do that every now and then just to make sure he can find his way back to you.
It says the effect is continuous. So
Okay, so it's fine. No problem at all.
And then I say, and that stuff stinks. And I blow my tweed in his face.
Very nice.
Oh man, what a group! What a group!
As he turns around, I put some of that stuff on his shell.
There's just a smear of it on the back of his shell. You just left your snail trail all over him.
Nail trail.
Okay, so are you trying to do an all-out sprint at this point, Korg, to catch back up with the group, or are you just doing like a brisk jog? What were you thinking?
I'm not trying to sprint. I'm just doing like a quick jog. Yeah, I'm good with a quick jog.
You will potentially, depending upon how long it takes you to catch up with them,
Take some breaks.
You might risk exhaustion if you did it all the way through, but if you take some breaks, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to take some breaks. I'm a well-traveled wolf.
So effectively, you're willing to add some time to your travel if it means getting there not exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. All right. So as the 6th hour approaches in our overall travel, let me go ahead and get another Constitution saving throw from everyone. Corey, you are at advantage though. And Guy, you still get your +2 due to all the grass that you pick.
Can you roll for me, JR?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay. All we need is Tito, and we're good to go.
Hey, what's happening?
Another
save.
round of con saves. This is supposed to be like oh man, the journey. They might have trouble on the journey, guys. It's so cold.
So warm. All these plants.
I thought I'd get like this awesome like climactic ending where like the party's freezing and they're like, oh man, guys, I don't know if we're gonna make it. It's so cold.
They don't even give a fuck. I'm the only one concerned.
They don't give a fuck at all, dude. Oh goodness, boys. Well, despite the best efforts of the natural environment of the gleaming tundra and the normal frigid cold that can bring the best adventurers to a freezing halt, it has no effect on our party, whose template name will be Awkward Silence until they pick something else. With their wolven friend at their back, trying to catch up after his smart purchase of additional warm clothing to help him get through the travel, his 3 other comrades push forward, traveling east of the village of Nasu searching for a broken meteorite from the Evermoon. Sorry, boys, but with where we're at and what time it is, I think we'll go ahead and leave off there for the night. I know that's not very exciting. I'm sorry. I wish we'd gotten to something a little more excited to leave off on, but I didn't want to get too much deeper into anything at 11 o'clock already. So
I did throw a wrench into things with the whole cabbage. I mean,
I got about 30 minutes left anyway, and I had to dip out.
Yeah.
All right, boys. You'd be surprised. The first session's always the most exciting, but I hope we'll get to play on a pretty regular basis, and we'll get into a swing of things. You know.
Dude, I'm hella excited. What are you talking about?
Sounds good.
I'm always worried after first sessions. They can be kind of slow sometimes. You know, you're trying to get everyone on the same page. People are trying to talk to each other. Well, most of the time, people are trying to talk to each other. You guys said, fuck that shit.
Yeah, two of our party members don't. Your template name is Awkward Silence until you guys...
Your template party name is Awkward Silence until you tell me otherwise, because that just sounds too perfect for you guys. Good shit, boys.
What's the macro bar? What is that?
So if you wanted to look something up, this might be something you're pretty into, Zach. You can actually make macros for Roll20, so that way you can have like little bubbles that like float over your head. So if you wanted to like make a skill check, you'll click on your little drop-down menu that says skill check, and then you'll pick what skill, and it'll like roll it for you automatically. You can do stuff so it changes the way like the HUD and the UI looks when it rolls in the chat for you. So Roll20 could be pretty customizable with making some of your own personalized macros if you wanted to. Like, I know Zach has a bunch for one of his characters. Zach, my brother Zach, not you, of course. Let me see if I can...
So was everything on that one D100 list as insane?
Nope. Not even close. There was some stuff 10 times more insane than that, and there was some stuff that was like, you turn green for an hour, or like, you know, like you gain a few life or whatever. That list is awesome because it's just all spectrum, you know? Like it's some tiny shit that's really not a big deal, and then it's some like just absolutely insane-o shit that just does crazy, crazy stuff.
I'm just glad David was a good sport and drank it.
You always want people like that who are just good sports.
Oh, that's
like okay.
That's better than I thought it'd be. I thought it'd just be like, oh, you have indigestion for 3 hours. I never thought that he'd be turned into a cabbage for 2 hours.
Now I'm getting some chicken.
Being entirely honest, I actually had to modify it because the original rules for that, as written on this chart, was roll a d20. The player becomes a cabbage for that many days.
Oh, dude.
I was like, this is session 1. We're not fucking doing this.
He can't be a cabbage for 2 weeks.
You could have put wheels on me, hollowed me out, and then just rode me into the fucking tundra.
Hollowed you out? I mean, I'm guessing through all that experimentation, I would have found out if you actually like felt pain or anything. But I'm assuming coming back to a turtle, you may not look quite right.
Yeah, I was like, we cannot do this. Even just a day, which is the best result. It's like, what do we do? This is the first session.
Does John's character have that recipe written down now? Or he could use it at will?
It was kind of just something that I thought would be funny. I told JR, I'm like, it would just be funny if I can get one of these guys to just drink a random potion. And I didn't know what it was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, just make it something funny.
I'm trying to work with John so that way he has more potions available to him than just a default list within the game. So we're trying to do some sort of mechanic where every day he can brew his own quote-unquote special potion. And kind of what we're starting with is this list is going to be like random results based off what he brews and what random things he throws together. But I will absolutely let Guy/John write down and notate what he created when he added what things together. So if he can find the materials again, he could potentially attempt to recreate it.
Try to recreate and feed it to a bad guy and turn him into
A cabbage.
a cabbage and just have David eat him.
Yep. I'm sorry.
For at least an hour, just have him go to town and just.
This is how you guys win. Have Guy make a bunch of potions. Then Zarek will sneak into the bandits' hideout, replace their health potions with cabbage potions. They drink the cabbage potions, and then Tito eats everybody.
Without a shot fired. We got food for days, boys.
Yeah.
Just chop up the cabbage.
Oh, man.
And then when it turns back into a human, it's just like arms and legs and.
Good shit, boys. Good shit.
Oh, that was good. That was fun.
Yeah, I had a blast.
I look forward to playing more. I hope it wasn't too slow of a first session for anybody. And
Yeah, I had a blast.
I'm always happy to talk D&D with anybody. So if you guys ever have stuff you want to do or things you want to implement or things you want to change, just always feel free to hit me up and I'm happy to talk about it. And I would love to be able to turn this into a weekly thing where we could shoot to play every Saturday or Sunday, depending upon how everyone's schedules work out.
That sounds great.
I'm Monday to Friday, 8 to 4:30 every day right now until told otherwise. So it's easy for me to plan around that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good most weekdays as well. So, but
I think with Zach's schedule, I think the weekends will probably be our best bet to consistently play.
Yeah.
I can see. So right now, let me pull up my schedule. For the rest of August, currently, let's see, what's today? Today's Sunday. So I have Sunday, Monday off. My next day off is going to be Friday, the 20th. And then I have shift all day Saturday. And then I have 22 and 23 off, so Sunday and Monday.
Okay. David, what day do you raid in WoW? Is it the weekends or?
Yeah, so next week I could only do Friday,
or Sunday, right?
It would have to be more like later Sunday for you because I'm gonna be getting off work at 9 a.m. Sunday and I'm gonna need to sleep before I do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be like probably from like 3 p.m. Eastern to like 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna want to sleep at least that long.
Maybe we could shoot for Friday then? Could everyone play Friday night?
I can play Friday night.
I can play Friday night.
Now the week after, I'm going to be on travel all week, but we'll talk about that then. But
yeah, we'll take a week at a time.
As far as
I got weekends after this one.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe let's say shoot for Friday then, boys, unless if something happens and someone can't play then.
Yep. Sounds good.
Friday the 20th.
Very, very nice. All right, everyone have a good night. Peace out, boys. I'll talk to y'all later.
See you guys.
You guys take it easy.
See you later.
Thanks for watching. Join us next time. Catch you later, birds.